What is up, people on the internet? JQL here, back from the video. In today's video, I'm doing another custom LEGO video on my custom LEGO minifigures from Attack on Titan. The final season is coming. Well, the second half of the final season is coming, and I decided to make more Attack on Titan figures. I made a version 2 of the Armored Titan, another version of the Cart Titan, and the Colossal Titan with, spoilers, this is actually the Armin version. If you've watched the season 4, then, you've seen what he looks like and whatnot. So, yeah, anyway, let's just get started with this video. Alright, let's start off with the Cart Titan. The Cart Titan is a very quick, easy custom that I made. This is actually, he and the Armor Titan are actually a commission. I know I don't do commissions often, but this time I decided to make an exception. So, yeah, anyway, so here's the Cart Titan. Pretty much the same method as the last time I made the Cart Titan. I used a cylinder piece for the head, then sculpted the entirety of the head, and I think it turned out pretty great. The muscles are sculpted on his torso, so if I grab her, I guess, real quick, there is the muscles, and then the legs are just, little fabble. I don't know how to describe how I made the legs, because, yeah, I think I pretty much described them in the last video, so I'll leave a link in the description below for a better description on that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Cart Titan overall. Pretty happy with how she turned out. Alright, next up here we have the Armored Titan Reiner. That was bad. I regret everything. But anyway, this figure is, like I said a second ago, this is a commission figure, and man, it's gonna be really hard to let this one go because I'm really happy with how the sculpt work turned out. It's way better than my last version, and yeah, I'll leave a photo of the last version up if I can, or if I remember. So yeah, anyway, the majority of this figure was sculpted. The head was fully sculpted, the hair piece was fully sculpted, and it's not removable, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter because, I'm not going to be removing this. And yeah, so a lot of people ask me how I sculpt my anime hair pieces. It's basically like I just sculpt each and every individual strand or piece of hair from scratch. I just keep adding on over time. That's pretty much how I do it. I might make a tutorial video at one point. There is a good tutorial video out there. I'll leave a link in the description below if I remember. So yeah, the mask of the Armor Titan is again sculpted out of Procreate, and then I painted the eyes in there. It's kind of hard to see them, but they're in there. The torso was fully sculpted by me, and I have to say this is probably one of my favorite sculpted torsos I've ever made. And the armor does continue onto the back of the figure. You can see his tuchus is sculpted, and the legs are, sculpted and whatnot. And this time I decided to add texture into the armor, and I think it really shows, and it's pretty great. And the arms are less bulky this time, because last time it was a little too ridiculous. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Armored Titan. Really not much else to talk about. He is fully articulated and whatnot. So yeah, let's move on to the last figure. Alright, here we have probably one of my favorite figures I've ever made. I hesitate to say my favorite, but honestly, it might be my favorite figure I've ever made. This is the Colossal Titan, but Armin's Colossal Titan. And man, I'm just so happy with how he turned out. I'll show a comparison between him and my last version of the Colossal Titan later. But yeah, so I knew I wanted to make another Colossal Titan at one point, and it'd have to be Armin's because I already made Bertholdt's, even though his figure that I made kind of sucks. But yeah, so I knew I had to make this figure at one point because this is a figure I always wanted to make. And yeah, so I really didn't know what I was going to do going in, but I knew one thing for sure. I had to use the Toy Story arm and legs from Woody. I just dropped something, but that's okay. Here he is next to him. He's technically taller because of the head, but that's okay. And yeah, I just staring at him now, it just makes me so happy. Anyway, I'll leave up pictures of the work in progress photos. You can see them all over on my Instagram, but I'll try and leave photos if I remember. So anyway, the head is fully sculpted by me. I just used a Lego head as a base, rounded off the top of the head, sculpted all the little bone parts in there and all the facial features you see there, and yeah, it turned out pretty great. The torso isn't actually a Lego torso. I'll try and leave a photo if I can. It started off as a radiator piece and a skeleton piece. And originally I was going to use the skeleton piece for his ribs, because you can see his ribs in the show, or the anime, in the manga, are actually, not hollow, but they're see-through. They're, chunks taken out of his, torso, like ribs should be. So, originally I was going to use the Lego skeleton piece ribs, and I thought it was going to work, but it didn't. So I had to improvise and I still used the skeleton piece, I just cut everything off and then sculpted my own ribs. And they're supposed to be way more. I think there's supposed to be 8 on each side. but I can only include 4 on each side. So that's a little bummer, but I think, you know, it works, and I'm still happy with how he turned out. Then, you know, I grabbed the woody arms, and they were actually a little too short. So I decided, you know, because he has wonky proportions, I went all out and doubles extended his arms, and I literally had to use 4 more arm pieces to extend them. And was it worth it? You be the judge of that, but I think it's worth it. Then I proceeded to sculpt on all the muscles and whatnot, and yeah, so, then came the tedious painting process. You can see all the muscle tissue lines everywhere on this figure is painted, and that took probably the most time, to be honest. You know, gluing in the ribs took a while, but I think the painting on the muscle tissue took even longer, because I originally, you know, I could have done that, like just indented while sculpting, like with Procreate. I could have, while it was still not dry, I could have indented it all over the figure, but I didn't, you know, use Procreate on the arms or the legs, and I didn't want to because, you know, he's pretty lengthy, so I didn't want to add too much, so I knew I had to paint it all instead, and I didn't think it was going to work out, but man, it really did work out, and I think that's probably the best part of this figure. And yeah, but I'm just really happy I was able to achieve the wonky proportions that this figure has, and yeah, there's really not much else to say with this guy, but I'm just really happy with how this guy turned out. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just move on to some comparisons. Alright, here we have all the Titans I made in this video, and here we have the female Titan, here we have the Beast Titan, here we have the Attack Titan, here we have the Jaws Titan, and here we have the Warhammer Titan, which I can't actually peg into because I found the tube that I was supposed to have on her the last time. So here they all are. Here are all the Titans, and let me just move the female Titan a little bit there. It's not pegging in. Okay, there we go. So here are all the Titan shapeshifters that I made, and yeah, so here they all are. And quickly, I'm going to remove all of them so that way I can show a comparison between. Here is Armin's Colossal Titan, and then here is the last Colossal Titan I made, and wow, what a difference. He looks so puny. I really like the color choices I went with this figure, by the way, because rather than just using whites, I decided to use this. It's actually toasted marshmallow apple barrel paint. It just worked really well, and I thought it gave it a nice bony look to him. So yeah, it's really night and day. Like, maybe I will revisit this figure at one point and, you know, use woody arms and legs, but as of right now, I, you know, don't feel like doing that because it was a lot of work making Armin. I think it's took me like 2 weeks of on and off work, and yeah, I'm just really happy with how it turned out. So anyway, without further ado, let's just wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a like. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more custom minifigures made by me, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. So that way you'll be notified for my next video whenever I post that. And I do also have an Instagram where I do post my figures finished there before I post them here. And I also, you know, post work in progress photos over there too. So if you want to check those out, you can check them out. Again, link in the description below. So yeah, Attack on Titan, really happy with these figures. I think the Armin Colossal Titan is probably my favorite figure I've ever made. But I hesitate to say that because, you know, I've made a lot of stuff. So yeah, but at the moment, he's my favorite. And yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever video I'll be. And I'll see you guys next time.